Hi, my name is Oko Owi Ocho, Africa. Government name Oko Owi Ocho. I'm a poet, an essayist and researcher, and a performer, the founder of Benue Poetry Troupe and Abuja Poetry Troupe. So, three poems I like. I'll begin with Wole Soyinka's Abiku. In vain your bangles cast, charmed cycles at my feet. I am Abiku, calling for the first and the repeated time. Must I wait for goats and cowries, for palm oil and the sprinkled ash? Yams do not sprout in armlength to eat Abiku's limbs. So when the snail is burnt in his shell, wet the heated fragment, brand me deeply on the breast. You must know him when Abiku calls again. I am the squirrel teeth, cracked the riddle of the palm. Remember these, and dig me deeper still into the God-swollen foot. Once and the repeated time, ageless though I puke, and when you pour libation, each finger points me nearer the way I came, where the ground is wet with morning, white dew circles flesh birds, evening befriends the spider, trapping flies in wind froth. Night, and Abiku sucks the oil from the lamps. Mother, I will be the suppliant snake, coiled on the doorstep. Yours, the killing cry. The ripest fruit was saddest. Where I crept, the warmth was clawing. In the silence of webs, Abiku moms, shaping mounds from the yoke. So, my fascination with Wole Soyinka's Abiku, besides one of the popular analysis people have given to it in terms of the audacity of the Abiku to speak for itself, is also the fact that that poem does the job of revalidating the African spiritual system. You know, there's been an erasure of our system of religion where our belief and things things that are part of our reality are being seen as merely superstitious. But in this case, Soyinka validates the fact that Abiku is real, and in this case, the Abiku speaks for itself. You know, so and it also validates his idea of the cycle of existence, word of the living, word of the dead, and word of the unborn. So the poem raises a decolonial subject, which strives against extreme and overt Euro-American rationality. You know, so and that's my fascination with the poem. So the second poem I'll be reading is The Cathedral by Kofi Awoonor. The Cathedral. On this dirty patch, a tree once stood, shedding incense on the infant corn. Its boughs stretched across a heaven, brightened by the last fibers of a tribe. The sent surveyors and builders who cut that tree, planting in its place a huge senseless cathedral of doom. You would naturally notice that my tone when it comes to reading Awoonor, you know, is a bit sober and tender. And the reason is, in most of Awoonor's poems, you find that tenderness irrespective of its subject. You know, and the cathedral, for instance, also reflects that idea. The magic of the cathedral for me is how over the years it's still relevant, because lots of people think the colonialists have left this place, so whatever issues we are facing now is our own problem. But the cathedral tells you that coloniality is a continuing circumstance where people keep reeling in the trauma and violence that we've inherited from colonialism. And anytime you read this poem, irrespective of the time, you get to discover that a huge senseless cathedral of doom still stands here. We've erased everything. We are cutting down trees, and this poem, of course, also opens itself to eco-critical discourse. Where the colonialists came here, they said we were living in jungles, so we started cutting down trees. But today, we now have to go back to planting those trees. So you get to see how African religious system is also interconnected with our religion and the environment, you know. So Awoonor shows us the interconnectedness between our system of belief, the environment and our core sense of being in every ramification that you want to see it. Having read two African poets, I think because we often say poetry is universal, I would like to read a non-African poet. And my favorite non-African poet, besides Pablo Neruda, is A.E. Housman. And my favorite poem is titled Is My Team Plowing? Is my team plowing that I was used to drive and hear the harness jingle when I was man alive? The horses trample, the harness jingles now, no change though you lie under the land you used to plow. Is football playing along the river shore with lads to chase the leather? Now I stand up no more. The ball is flying, the lads play heart and soul. The goal stands up, the keeper stands up to keep the goal. Is my girl happy that I thought hard to leave? And is she tired of weeping as she lies down at eve? She lies down lightly. She lies down not to weep. Your girl is well contented, but still my lad and sleep. Is my friend hurty? Now I am thin and pine, and has he found to sleep in a better bed than mine? Yes, lad, I lie easy. I lie as lads would choose me. I cheer a dead man's sweetheart. Never ask me whose. Now, the magic of this poem for me is actually the last stanza, because it more or less defines the end of everything. How we live our life and all, but at the end of the day, everything we find hard to live would eventually pass on to different person. I love this poem because of the dramatic nature of it to begin with. Conversation between two friends, a dead friend and a living friend. And the dead friend is asking his friend about everything he watched while he was alive. And the end of it, when he asked if his girlfriend that he found hard to leave is contented, and the friend said yes, she lies down at ease now, no longer to weep. I mean, she's living her life. And when he asked about the friend, hope you're good. The friend says, yeah, I'm good. And I cheer a dead man's sweetheart. Never ask me whose. So ultimately, our life at the end ends when we leave this place. And it's the impact that we leave eventually. But when it comes to wealth, when it comes to pleasure and all of it, we eventually leave it and someone else will take over. Thank you. My name is Oko Owi Ocho Africa. These are the poems I love. Thank you.